let's talk about something really important, something that we often think of in, well, overly simple terms: retirement. It's so often painted as this one long, glorious vacation that lasts for decades. But the truth, as many of you might already be feeling, is way more nuanced and, frankly, a lot more interesting than that. So today, we're going to explore how to navigate the beautiful and sometimes tricky evolution that happens during this major chapter of our lives. You may have maximized the freedom of your 60s, but you are noticing that the pace is starting to create stress. Does that sentence hit home for you at all? Maybe you spent those first few years of retirement just going for it, traveling, tackling projects, really soaking up that freedom. You did everything you were supposed to do. But lately, you might be noticing that that same pace feels different. What used to be exciting now feels a little stressful, a little draining. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know one thing: you're not alone. And what you're feeling isn't a sign you're doing anything wrong. It's actually a sign of a completely natural, predictable, and ultimately a really positive transition. So here's our roadmap for making sense of it all. First, we're gonna uncover the hidden truth about retirement. Then we'll look at what is really changing under the hood. The core lesson is next, in 2 phases, 2 mindsets. After that, we get practical with putting insight into action. Then we'll get some encouragement with the wisdom of slowing down. And we'll wrap it all up with your gentle challenge. Sound good? Let's dive in. Okay, so here's the big idea. The one thing you need to get. Retirement is not one single long stretch of time. It's just not. The way you experience life at 65, full of that initial burst of energy, is profoundly different from how you experience it at 75. And the hidden truth is that we're dealing with 2 very distinct phases. Each one has its own energy level, its own goals, its own definition of what a good life looks like. And trying to live in one phase with the mindset of the other, well, that's where all that stress and anxiety comes from. A really simple way to think about this is by calling them the go-go years and the slow-go years. The go-go years are what we all picture, right? That initial blast of freedom. It's all about high energy exploration, big trips, new projects. The focus is on doing. But then we naturally shift into the slow-go years. This is a healthy move inward toward things that might take less physical energy, but give us a lot more meaning. The focus shifts from doing to being. Getting this distinction is the absolute key to feeling content in the years ahead. So what's actually pushing us from go-go to slow-go? It's really important to get this. It's not a failure. It's not about losing your ambition. It's a completely natural, biological, and psychological shift in our energy and our priorities. It's not something to fight against. It's a current to flow with. You know that stress we mentioned? It really comes from one simple thing: trying to live a go-go lifestyle with slow-go resources. Once you see what's really changing, you can adapt with so much more grace. Let's break down what's driving this. First, the most obvious one: a predictable decline in physical energy. That's just biology. The energy you had for a whirlwind European vacation at 62 might just not be there at 72. Second, there's an increased cognitive load. Just managing health, finances, appointments. It all takes up more mental bandwidth than it used to. Put those 2 together: less physical energy, more mental load, and you can see how trying to keep that high-speed, high-spending pace can lead to real fatigue and even financial strain. The bottom line is, you have to consciously realign your budget and your schedule to match the reality of today, not the reality of 10 years ago. And that brings us to the absolute heart of this whole conversation. If there are 2 phases of retirement, then it makes perfect sense that we need 2 different mindsets to navigate them. You just can't use the map for the go-go years to find your way through the slow-go years. It's a different terrain. It requires a conscious shift in how you see the world, what you value, and even how you measure a good day. So let's get clear on the go-go mindset. It's all about external goals. It's about ticking things off that bucket list. The big drivers are novelty, seeing new places, trying new things. Then you've got achievement, building that shed, finishing that huge project, and of course, exploration, taking that cruise, visiting all the national parks. The focus is outward, and it is a fantastic, exciting, wonderful phase of life. Now let's look at the slow-go mindset. Here, we make a gentle but really important pivot toward internal goals. The focus shifts from novelty just for the sake of it and more toward meaning. You start asking, what really matters to me? What gives me that quiet, deep sense of purpose? You prioritize real connection with the people who are most important to you, and you start to value social depth way more than social breadth, nurturing a few deep relationships instead of 100 shallow ones. The focus is inward, on cultivating a rich inner life. When you see it side by side like this, it's crystal clear, isn't it? The goal shifts from novelty and achievement over to meaning and connection. The pace evolves from constant high activity to a more deliberate, comforting routine. And the priorities mature from intensive exploration to a real appreciation for social depth. And I want to be really clear, neither one of these is better than the other. They're just different stages of the journey. The secret to happiness is knowing which stage you're in right now. Okay, so if we accept this natural shift, what's the number one strategy we need? I like to call it the energy management mandate. This is not about giving up, it's not about shrinking your life, it's about getting smarter with your most precious resource, your energy. It means consciously choosing to substitute those high-strain activities, the ones that leave you wiped out for days, with things that are low impact on your body but high engagement for your mind and your spirit. This is the secret to making the slow-go years not just okay, but truly wonderful. All right, so it's one thing to understand all this, but it's another to actually start living it. So let's get practical. Let's move from theory to action. We're going to walk through 4 gentle, really practical steps you can take to start guiding your own shift from that go-go to the slow-go mindset. These 4 steps are your new toolkit. First, we're going to conduct a lifestyle audit. Second, you'll develop an internal mission. Third, you'll learn to prioritize social depth. And finally, you will introduce the absolutely essential habit of buffer time. Let's take a closer look at each one. First up, a simple self-assessment. And please, no judgment here, just get curious. Look at your calendar, look at your bank statements for the last couple of months. What are your activity levels like? How much are you spending on those activities? And once you have that data, you just ask yourself one simple question. Are these things still aligned with my current energy, or am I running on a script from my go-go years? The goal isn't to feel bad, just to get honest information so you can make better choices. Step 2 is all about finding a new, accessible purpose, an internal mission that really lights you up. Now, this doesn't have to be some grand, world-changing quest. It's about finding something meaningful that fits your life now. This often looks like one of 2 things. First is generativity. That's just a fancy word for giving back. It could be mentoring a young person, volunteering, or just sharing your life's wisdom with your family. The other path is mastery, the pure joy of learning something new. Finally picking up that guitar, taking an online course, becoming the family historian. The goal is just to find a purpose that fills your tank instead of drain it. Step 3 is about your social life. In the go-go years, we often collect a wide circle of friends and acquaintances. But in the slow-go years, the best return on your social energy comes from depth, not breadth. This means making a conscious choice to focus your time on a smaller group of people. It's about nurturing those few, really supportive, reciprocal relationships where you feel truly seen. You know the ones. It's that classic wisdom, right? Quality over quantity. And finally, we get to what might be the most important practical step of all, the buffer time mandate. This one is non-negotiable. You have to start treating rest as a critical, scheduled part of your day, not a luxury. Plan for downtime. If you've got a big family thing on Saturday, block out Sunday for recovery. If you have a doctor's appointment in the morning, keep the afternoon clear. This isn't laziness, it is strategic self-care. It's how you prevent that bone-deep exhaustion that can suck the joy out of everything. Now, I know as we talk about all this, it might be easy to feel a little bit of a sense of loss for those high-energy go-go years. But I want us to shift our perspective here. There is a profound wisdom in slowing down. It unlocks a totally different and in many ways a much richer and deeper kind of joy. This isn't an ending. Think of it as an evolution into a more serene and contented phase of life. And listen, this isn't just some nice idea. The data actually backs it up. Research on happiness shows that our well-being often follows a U-shape. It dips in those stressful middle-aged years and then starts climbing again. And for a lot of people, the early 70s are an absolute peak in life satisfaction. We're talking average ratings of 8.2 out of 10. And that happiness doesn't happen in spite of slowing down, it happens because of it. It's what happens when you let go of all the external pressure and focus on what truly makes you happy. This quote just says it all perfectly. By embracing this transition, you secure a final phase of life defined by emotional depth and contentment. Embracing this shift is a powerful, active choice. You're not just letting life happen to you. By consciously moving from a go-go to a slow-go mindset, you are actively architecting a better future for yourself, one that's defined by rich connections and a real sense of peace. So, we've covered the why, the what, and the how. We get the 2 phases, we know what's changing, and we have practical steps to take. So now, let's bring it all home with one simple, gentle challenge to help you take that very first step toward finding this new alignment in your own life.
I want you to just sit with this question for a moment. Just take a breath. Think about the things you really love to do, the things that fill up your calendar, and then ask yourself, with real kindness, are these activities aligned with my current energy? Not the energy you wish you had, but the energy you have right now, today. The honest answer to that question is your roadmap.
So as we finish up, let's remember the big takeaway. So much of the anxiety we feel at this stage of life just comes from resisting this natural shift in pace. But now you know you can move with it. You know that the best thing you can do for your well-being is to swap those high-strain activities for meaningful, low-impact ones. And you know you have to protect that energy with intentional rest, that vital buffer time. So here is your gentle challenge. Sometime in the next day or two, think of 3 of your favorite activities and just ask yourself for each one, does this truly energize me or does it leave me drained? That simple awareness, that's your starting point. Because by embracing the slower, more deliberate phase of life, you're not giving up. You are actively choosing to create years defined by emotional depth and true contentment. You're choosing calm confidence, and you are choosing a quiet, powerful joy.